Good morning, it's now 8 a.m. Hanoi time. You with me on VTV News Live from Hanoi. Let's first check out the headlines for this hour.
Ho Chi Minh City strengthens education cooperation with the United States.
Ho Chi Minh City strengthens education cooperation with the United States. A delegation from Ho Chi Minh City led by the City Party Committee Secretary Lê Thanh Hải is now on a working visit to the United States. An important part of their visit is calling for more cooperation in education between Ho Chi Minh City and various U.S. cities. For the purpose, the delegates visited top universities in the United States, including University of California, Berkeley, Harvard Kennedy School, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. The delegation visited the University of California, Berkeley, Vietnam National University's partner in establishing and operating the Center for Molecular and Nano Architecture in Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City. Secretary Lê Thanh Hải spoke highly of the result of cooperation between these two universities in the past year, especially in time of science and technology. He also witnessed the signing of the cooperation plan for the second phase of the center.
In addition, Party Secretary Lê Thanh Hải led the delegation to visit the Harvard Kennedy School and the NC Garden Institute for Brain Research at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Here, the delegates and the university leader discussed ways to develop exchange program in scientific research for students and faculty members. In other news, Vice President Nguyễn Thị Đông on Sunday received the Second Lady of the United States, Jill Biden, who is on a working visit to Vietnam. Vice President Nguyễn Thị Đông spoke highly of Jill Biden's visit to Vietnam soon after the two countries celebrated the 20 years of normalization of diplomatic relations. She also urged the two sides to strengthen cooperation in promoting gender equality and the role of women, thereby tightening Vietnam-U.S. relations. For her part, U.S. Second Lady Jill Biden thanked Vietnam for helping the U.S. in the research for American servicemen missing in action and pledged to continue supporting Vietnam in the field of education, humanitarian issues, and dealing with consequences of the war.
With 8 free trade agreements signed and progress made on the Trans-Pacific Partnership negotiations, Vietnam is heading towards an era of global integration. Opportunities are abundant, but so are challenges. What are enterprises doing in light of this? In the following story, with several successful FTAs signed in a row, some trade barriers will be removed. Vietnamese enterprises can expand their markets more easily and gain better access to certain imported materials thanks to lower tariffs. However, at the recent conference, economists say more international businesses are entering the Vietnamese market. Therefore, Vietnamese companies will have to compete. The appearance of foreign competitors in the market can certainly force domestic enterprises to change their ways and improve themselves in order to compete. According to experts, one of the most problematic issues the Vietnamese businesses are facing in human resources. Currently, Vietnam is enjoying a young population with abundant labor. However, a high-quality workforce is what Vietnam lacks due to the neglect of training and education.
Training is a deep spot for developing country workers. This workforce can only do low level types of work. So how can we make them improve? This can only be achieved through very specific and practical training. In addition, experts said Vietnam should not be too dependent on import for agricultural items. Vietnam was a hard area for farming, so it's necessary to focus on creating the country our grain and enhancing competitiveness. In the Central Highlands province of Đắk Lắk, local healthcare workers have been trying to reach every household in the rural and remote areas. Iso is a remote commune of Ika district with more than 7,000 people from 12 ethnic minority groups. Local residents who had lived under the poverty line can now receive medical check-up for free every month, as how workers pay regular visits to their houses. According to officials in Đắk Lắk, the current network of local health stations has reached on 184 communities in the province.
An after-school math program in Japan called Common has spread to over 48 countries and territories. The method was founded 60 years ago, but has only gained popularity here in Vietnam recently. Since its arrival in 2006, it has attracted over 10,000 students in Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. Let's take a closer look. After only a few months of studying at Common, completing 250 single-digit addition problems in less than 20 minutes has become a piece of cake for the students. Thanks to this method, many students could solve 11th grade problems when they were still in the grade 6. Common believes students will be more interested in math when they complete exercises based on their ability. When following the Common method, each student progresses at their own pace through an individualized program. The students also acquire new knowledge themselves. Common exercises get harder a bit and all the time. There are always examples and hints. When a student learns a new thing on his own, he can memorize it much better. In Vietnam, we hope that Common will help children maximize their ability. This is essential to the future of Vietnam. Other traits that distinguish Common are the use of positive encouragement and the fact that teachers do not compare the students' performance. Practical, interesting, and individual tailored. Common method is gaining more and more popularity in Vietnam. And that's the end of our news bulletin for this hour.